Hello, thank you for listening to this episode of the Morris October Rants. Today's rant is going to be about how no one is forcing you to do anything, People will sometimes accuse you of, forcing them to do stuff, like they'll feel forced into a conversation or, they'll feel like you're forcing them into doing something, and you'll have certain dialogue with people and they'll accuse you of that, and you're like, I never forced you to do anything, I never forced you into this conversation. I never forced you to talk to me. I never forced you to be my friend. I didn't force you to do anything. And people like to get this notion that they've been forced to do shit, and they haven't. And, people just are so quick to feel forced and accuse you of forcing them to do stuff when that's not the case, I'm not going to force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do, If I'm in a situation and, I'm talking to somebody and, I want them to do something, if they don't want to do it, that's fine. If they're not interested in doing something for me or doing something with me or whatever, that's fine. I have no need to force someone into doing anything. So the fact that when people talk to me and they act like it, sometimes they don't say it, but they're definitely implying it and they're insinuating it, or they'll say it and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I didn't force you to do anything. I didn't force you to do that. I didn't force you to talk to me. I didn't force you into this friendship. I didn't force you into this conversation, And, people will try to act like they're the victim, like they were forced in and like you're the big bad wolf and they have to escape you and you're a horrible person who forced them into stuff and did this and did that. It's so funny how people will try to manipulate you to make it look like you're the bad person. It happens so many different times in my life, where, I'll be in a conversation with somebody and, say they messaged me first and we're talking and, they'll say I really feel like you're making me do this and I really feel like you don't want to listen to me and I feel like I have to stay here or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not forcing you. It's so pathetic, and people they want to feel like they're the victim, they want sympathy. They want brownie points. They want to feel like they deserve some type of credit because they're putting up with you and how you're so evil and bad and forcing them into shit. I feel the same way about, when it comes to kissing and touching and hugging or whatever it is. I'm not going to make anybody do anything they don't want to do. And, that's one of the things that I've been very lucky with is I never really went to college and I didn't really have any girlfriends in high school. I didn't really be around many girls, so I never had any women accuse me of touching them without forcing them into doing stuff, or I didn't really go to parties or anything in high school, so I never had that problem, and I'm really glad that no one's ever accused me of that because I don't do anything. I don't go out with anybody. I kept my hands to myself, so that must suck though, because there are guys who did stuff with girls and it was 100%, 1,000% consensual, and they both did it and they both agreed to it. And then women will sometimes like to feel like they were forced into something they didn't want to do because they felt pressured and all this shit. And it's awful because no one's forcing you to do anything, People sometimes, there's another version of it. You'll do something with someone and you'll ask them to go. And, they'll agree to do something and then they'll say oh, I only agreed because I felt forced. I only agreed because I felt like you'd be mad at me if I didn't go. Or I felt like you'd be mad at me if I didn't say yes. I felt forced. I was scared. I don't buy into that shit, again, they're trying to find sympathy. They're trying to find, a way out to make it look like they're the good one and you're the bad one. And, I'm ranting about this right now, but, the best way to get out of that is to not fucking deal with it and leave. So anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Morris October Rant. Signing out. Have a good one, guys.